Well, for many years, the Cubs came to Houston multiple times, but it's their first trip here since 2012. The Astros now a member of the American League West. Interleague action tonight. Cubs and Astros to open a three-game weekend series. Welcome to Cubs baseball from under the roof here at Minute Maid Park. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. Anthony Rizzo had an off day yesterday. Probably didn't want one. He's hit 3 homers the last 2 days and nearly hit 4.
Yeah, very positive development for Anthony Rizzo. Really hasn't been slugging a lot in the second half, but did a lot of damage in that series in Milwaukee. Had the 2-home-run game and then talked his way into the lineup the next day, delivered yet another home run. Anthony's continued to get his base hits. He's had good at-bats, but the power had not been there for much of the second half, so this is a very positive development.
And he is in there tonight. Again, the Cubs with an off day yesterday. He was going to get the night off Wednesday, but Joe really liked his at-bats on Tuesday night. The Astros on a similar track as the Cubs, young and becoming a playoff contender. They got into the American League playoffs last year, trying to do it again this year, and we have some interesting Astros-Cubs connections.
Yeah, indeed we do. You cheated. I didn't know that was going to be on there. Chris Bryant, the second pick of the 2013. The Astros took Mark Appel out of Stanford University. That has not really worked out. I'm sure they would like a mulligan on that one. Dexter Fowler for Valbuena. And, of course, the Astros thrilled with that last transaction. They've really upgraded the broadcast booth over on the other side.
We've had to put a security guard at the door here in the booth because JD's return so popular. And we'll talk starting pitchers when we come back to Houston. Baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. Honda. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. State Farm. There for you when things go wrong, but also here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. Mattress Firm, where we want you to sleep happy guaranteed. Remember, if it's over 8, it's time to replace. Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Let's update the National League Central standings. The Cardinals lost last night at home against Milwaukee. The Cubs' magic number is down to 8 to clinch the division. Astros are in decent shape, but they're in the middle of a really tough stretch. 13 in a row against first-place teams.
Yeah, they just split a 4-game series with Cleveland. They dropped 2 out of 3 previous to that with the Rangers, so they have this weekend series with the Cubs, and then they get the Rangers yet again. Then things soften for them, but they still got some climbing to do.
All right, let's get into the pitching matchup. John Lester working on a lot of extra rest has been terrific here in the second half.
Yeah, boy, indeed he has. Since the All-Star break, he's taken the ball 9 times, 6-0 with a 185 complete game. Last time out, he had a no-no going for 6 2/3 for the Astros. They'll counter with a big young right-hander, rookie Joe Musgrove. And you see the splits home and road. He's been a lot better here in his home ballpark, an 0.54 ERA. He's just made 7 starts so far.
Astros not getting a lot of length out of their starting rotation here as of late. There will be a lot of Cub fans in the ballpark this weekend, and I'm sure a few Bears fans as well, as the Bears will open up their season on Sunday. We'll have the Cubs and the Astros next. Mission is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Hey, great to see Tom Byers, the Cubs assistant hitting coordinator. He is in his 17th season with the Cubs organization and in uniform and on the bench this weekend. And worked with a lot of hitters on the lower minor league teams. And JD, there are 3 Cubs affiliates all in a elimination game tonight in the playoffs.
Wow, well, some drama down in the minor leagues for those kids. Not a whole lot of drama associated with the Cubs these days, but you know they'd like to bounce back after dropping a 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee. John Lester will take the ball tonight. Hasn't pitched much against this Astros club. He faced them in 2008 here at Minute Maid Park.
Well, these two franchises used to have a great rivalry until the Astros moved to the American League in 2013. Last time the Cubs were here, Alfonso Soriano went 3 for 4 with a home run. Travis Wood went deep in that ball game, and that was historic when the Cubs and Astros matched up at Wrigley Field at the end of that season. Both teams had over 100 losses, but times have changed. And look at last year, both clubs making the postseason. And there were a lot of comparisons made, JD, between kind of the process of both organizations.
Yeah, 2 forward-thinking front offices that decided to kind of strip things down, build through the draft. You may recall Sports Illustrated did a big story. They predicted that the Cubs and the Astros would meet in the 2017 World Series. Who knows, that may happen. Cubs obviously have their sights set on the World Series this year, and the Astros still hanging in there with a shot to claim one of the American League wildcard spots.
Let's get the umpires for you tonight. C.B. Buckner will call balls and strikes. Joliet native Mark Carlson is the crew chief. He's at first. Mark Wegner is at second. And Quinn Wolcott is over at third. Cubs have won 12 of their last 13 series openers. And here's how they'll line up. Brought to you by Southwest. The former Astro Fowler, Bryant, Rizzo at the top. Ben Zobrist didn't make it to the big leagues with Houston, but he was drafted by the Astros. Russell, Soler, Jason Hayward in right. David Ross, a catcher. And Javier Baez, who has taken 2 picks before George Springer in 2011, will bat ninth.
Astros defensively, it's a good group. They've only committed 65 errors all year. Rasmus, Marisnik, Hernandez, left, center, right. Gurriel, Bregman, Altuve, Gonzalez. He's a former Cub farmhand. He's at first base. Evan Gattis, a.k.a. Sandlot Slugger, who's behind the plate. And here's the big righty, 23 years of age. This is a big dude, 6'5", 250 and change. He's dropped some weight. Got a little bit of a degenerative hip issue, so he was carrying too much weight. Got in much better shape. One of their top pitching prospects. 6 big league starts, 2 and 3 with a .506 earned run average.
Yeah, the rotation is a question mark. Dallas Keuchel has been shut down for the time being with shoulder issues. Lance McCullers has an elbow injury. And in their last 11 games, they've only had a 6-inning start once, averaging under 5 innings per start during the stretch. And tonight they're without their fine shortstop Carlos Correa as well. He's dealing with a shoulder issue. Here's Fowler. Roof closed as we get started. Musgrove to Fowler and off the outside corner for ball 1.
Musgrove will flash 95-96. He'll pitch at 92. And he'll sink it. He'll cut it. Slider, curve, and a change.
Well, how does it feel to be back here in Houston?
It's a little funky, to tell you the truth.
Ball driven to deep center. Marisnik's back on it near Towles Hill, and it'll land on the hill. Fowler around second, on his way to third. The throw there. Safe. He went in standing. It's a triple.
I'm not sure why he didn't get down, but it doesn't matter. At this point, a leadoff triple for Dexter Fowler as he bangs one up onto Towles Hill, straightaway center field, a center field that he knows well, having played it. That will not be possible next year because that hill is going away. Gurriel deking him there, staying upright as long as possible, giving no indication that the ball was on its way.
Infield back with Bryant at the plate and nobody out. The pitch, swing and a miss. Yeah, you're right. Towles Hill will be no more in 2017. They're going to move the fence in about 27 feet. I think add like a restaurant area out there as Bryant fouls back. Well, that was a poke by Dexter Fowler.
Yeah, hitters have complained over the years because there have been many guys who have hit their best bull to that part of the ballpark and it turns into a double or a triple.
He hit it 431 feet. Swing and a miss. So Musgrove strikes out Bryant. That's the first out of the ball game, and it will bring up Anthony Rizzo.
But that, that's the trade-off because the left field Crawford boxes are very cozy, and straightaway right field is pretty hitter friendly as well.
Rizzo homered twice on Tuesday, homered again Wednesday, and then in the 9th inning of that game, thought he had a game-tying home run, Keon Broxton. With a highlight reel leaping grab at the wall just to the left of straightaway center. And the Brewers were able to hold on as Rizzo fouls. Fowler was making his way toward home plate. Let's get you our Lexus run predictor, brought to you by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer. Runner at third and 1 out. Cubs get that guy in. or somebody in 69% of the time. Infield coming in now that it's 0-2. And Rizzo lays off. It's interesting, a foul or non-foul came into play yesterday in Cleveland, where the Astros lost to the Indians. 2 runs scored on what was called a wild pitch on a ball the Astros thought was a foul, and eventually A.J. Hinch, their manager, got tossed.
Yeah, and clearly it was a foul ball, but umpires didn't catch it.
Lonnie Chisenhall, ball seemed to hit the bat. Jim Joyce didn't see it. They did go to review, but just to check the rule to see if they could review whether it hit his bat or not, and they were not allowed to. A.J. Hinch upset, maybe apoplectic might be a word you would use.
Apoplectic. Man, you dropped Gregarious the other day. He was throwing apoplectic around. There's Jim Joyce. He looks like the Lorax. Doesn't really matter a whole lot, but it just does.
3-2, he walked him. So after an 0-2 start, Rizzo draws the walk, and now it's Ben Zobrist. And there are a lot of Cub fans in this ballpark.
Yeah, they are energized, and the Astro fans that are here will be energized as well. So it should be a fun night at the ballpark. Cub fans getting their cowboy on.
Zobrist, a 6th-round pick of the Astros in 2004, takes ball 1. Let's update the Lexus run predictor at 3% for the Cubs' chances here in terms of what they've done this year in this situation. (1-0), too low.
A walk to Rizzo. Clearly, you can understand what Musgrove's thinking. He gets ahead in the count. He's trying to keep the ball out of play, so he went into expand mode, hoping Anthony would chase. He did not. Looking at the numbers on Musgrove, the thing that grabs your attention is the low walk total.
He's a strike thrower. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
Maybe that new cutter he's working with. That was kind of funky looking. Good late action, but 35 strikeouts against 8 walks in 37 1/3 big league innings this year, and he has similar control numbers at the minor league level.
2-1. Zobrist just got a piece of it. And you don't want to come up empty here after you get a leadoff triple to start the game.
It's like having a 2-man advantage in hockey and not scoring a goal.
That's right.
It's like having 1st and goal from the 2-yard line and not scoring a touchdown. It's like having the 5-pin right there in the middle of the lane and not getting the spare.
Forget it, he's rolling. Great swing that time by Zobrist.
Have to reach out to our many different sporting constituencies with our metaphors.
Musgrove from El Cajon, California. '46th overall pick, the 2011 draft out of Grossmont High School, taken by the Blue Jays. And he just struck out Zobrist.
Wow. Not easy to do. It's certainly in that situation where Zobrist is focusing on contact. Rare expansion by Ben.
So it will be up to Addison Russell, trailing only Carlos Correa in RBIs among shortstops. Correa again on the bench tonight with 90 knocked in. Swinging strike 1.
This is where Russell's been so good in these high leverage situations. Chance to give the club a lead or come through with a big hit in a tight game.
On the ground, Marwin Gonzalez will step on the bag, and Musgrove escapes a major jam. Astros coming up when we come back. In each of their last 8 consecutive games, their longest such stretch in the 5 seasons. Springer at the DH tonight. Bregman normally plays third, but he's at short for Correa. Altuve putting together an MVP-like campaign. Gurriel just getting his major league career started, even though he's 32. Evan Gattis, the catcher. Marwin Gonzalez, the switch-hitting first baseman. Colby Rasmus in left. Teoscar Hernandez in right, and Marisnik, the center fielder, batting 9th.
Check the Cubs defensively. Bryant, Fowler, Hayward out there in the pasture. Infield third to first. Baez, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo. David Ross behind the plate. And tonight's Cubs starter, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, is John Lester. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. Looking for win number 16. 28th start, a 2.61 ERA.
Ball one on Springer. The 11th overall pick in the 2011 draft. 2 spots behind the guy playing third tonight for the Cubs. It's high.
This Astro team, you talked earlier about the similarities with the Cubs. Young, athletic, good defenders.
Middle of the pack in the American League in runs. They walk a lot, they strike out a lot, and they run. Third in the league in steals.
Yeah, I think that would be part of their game plan here tonight. See, first things first, they got to get on base. That's been tough to do against John Lester, especially of late.
His first start in a week. I guess over a week, if you consider last Friday's game was a 120 Wrigley Field start. Shattered bat grounder to Baez, who gets Springer for the out. As JD mentioned in the open, 9 innings, 3 hits, complete game win over the Giants.
It's in that kitchen and breaks his toy. That was coming on the heels of an August that saw John go 3-0 with a 1.71 ERA.
So in the open, we referenced the fact that Astros did not take Chris Bryant with the #1 pick. They took Mark Appel, college right-hander, who actually got traded in the Ken Giles deal in the offseason. Bregman in the air, foul ground, and caught. Sliding grab by Jason Hayward, 2 down.
And funny, I had my eyes on Rizzo watching him sprint after that ball, and out of nowhere comes Jason Hayward, the Gold Glover. Everybody in hot pursuit. Hayward there to make the play.
is Jose Altuve. So the Astros apparently never really strongly considered Chris Bryant with the top pick in 2013. So that's a miss, right? But then you look at Springer and Bregman. I mean, they could almost go toe-to-toe with the Cubs in terms of their recent drafts. Correa.
No, absolutely.
A lot of hits.
Yeah. Yep.
That's foul to left.
And I don't think they were the only one that had a pal at the top of the draft board. I mean, high ceiling arm out of Stanford, a very accomplished college pitcher. He's had a hard time figuring it out. Astros moved along to the Phillies. And I'm not sure where he is now.
1-1 is fouled away. So you asked the question the other day, middle infielders, and we got the answer. There's a lot of numbers there, but if you look at 2016, 931 home runs have been hit by second baseman and shortstops combined. That is an all-time record. So what you kind of thought, just by way of anecdotal around baseball, is absolutely true. All time, you go right across the board. 2016, already 60 more home runs by middle infielders combined in MLB than any other year in Major League history. And Altuve's got 22 of them, and he's listed at 5'6", but he might not even be 5'5".
No, if you saw him in an airport in street clothes, you would guess he was a jockey and not a Major League Baseball player.
Two. Up to foul.
Altuve, guy, because of his size, a lot of skepticism. First, just getting signed, and then working his way through the minor leagues. And when he first came to the big leagues, and then there was just no way. And obviously, he has answered all the critics and just gotten better and better. The contact skills were always there. He's a good base stealer, and this year he's adding the power component. Well, last year as well, he had 15 home runs last year.
Change up outside. 3-2. We saw a lot of changeups in John's last start. Sinkers and changeups. Not quite as many cutters and curveballs. But that was against a team he had faced earlier this year, the Giants. Swing and a miss on a change to get Altuve. Astros go in order in the first. With Joe Madden, log on to WGNTV.com Right now, click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner and connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and info while watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by the Great Escape Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Everything you need to have more fun at home this summer. Top of the second, Jorge Soler hitting 6th tonight and DHing. Musgrove got out of a big-time jam in the first. Runner at third, nobody out. First and third, 1 out. Broke his bat as he finds left center and caught by Rasmus.
Time now for the speed replay, brought to you by Xfinity. And Jason Hayward with the Gold Glove caliber play, and that's because he's a Gold Glove winner. We'll likely get another one this year. The speed replay is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Quiet series offensively in Milwaukee, 0 for 10. Knocked in a run, scored a run, takes a strike. Mentioned Musgrove, he's a big dude. 6'5", listed at 265, but maybe has dropped a few pounds. He played offensive and defensive lineman in high school on the football team. Popped up by Hayward. Caught by Gurriel. Pitts played first base on the baseball team.
No hoops?
I don't know.
Took the season off. Looks like he'd be a good rebounder. His broad shoulders.
Doesn't say in his bio that he played basketball. He had committed to San Diego State on a baseball scholarship before he signed with the Blue Jays. David Ross, a career .302 hitter in this ballpark. And a strike.
Musgrove traded from Toronto to Houston July of 2012.
That was a 10-player deal. A good fastball.
Yeah, you have to admire the way he goes about it. He's wasting no time. Pitching with an air of confidence, really on the attack.
And he strikes out Ross. The Cubs go down quietly in the second. Inning and a half, no score. Check out the Cubs baseball blog at WGNTV.com. Sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your nationwide insurance agent, serving the area for 38 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Yuli Gurriel, who signed a 5-year, $47.5 million free agent deal in July. And he lines one into left. That's the Astros' first hit. He has hit his first 2 major league home runs each of the last 2 days. He's 32, a 15-year pro career in Cuba. Now the Sandlot slugger, Evan Gattis.
Yeah, this is as old school as it gets right here. Good old House of David Beard working, no batting gloves. Sandlot slugger stance. It's a pretty healthy rip.
"16 of his 24 home runs have come while catching. He's actually been at the plate, but on defense catching at the time, and that has tied a single season club record. Began the year actually on the DL, recovering from sports hernia surgery, then was DHing, and in May got sent back to Double-A for a couple of weeks to work on his catching.
Jason Castro, the veteran catcher here, has had a really rough year, hitting in the low 200s. Gattis, dangerous boy against left-handed pitching. 297 batting average, 587 slugging percentage against lefties.
And the pitch. Line and caught by Russell on the leap.
Well positioned. Ball really stung by Gattis. And Addison just elevates. Out number 1.
Switch hitting Marwin Gonzalez, who spent the first 6 years of his pro career in the Cubs minor league system. That was a Rule 5 pick prior to 2012. The Red Sox drafted him and traded him to Houston. So you would be a good person to ask about the Astros move to the American League. What did fans here think of it as it was being discussed?
They were not fond of it. The roots are in the National League. They want to remain a National League team. I think, like anything else, over time that goes away.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, I remember when that all was going down, and I thought for sure the Diamondbacks would be moved to the American League.
"51 years in the National League."
Yeah, and Houston was a longtime minor league town, affiliated with the St. Louis Cardinals, the old Houston Buffs. Played here. So the roots were in the National League, and then they had all those years as a major league team in the NL.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the curveball. The Cubs' magic number went down to 8 last night, even though they were off because the Cardinals lost. They're trailing again early tonight, 1-0. Brewers have won 7 of 8. including 2 of 3 against the Cubs earlier this week.
And the Cardinals are now 8 games below 500 in their home ballpark.
Colby Rasmus is playing left. Takes a strike. The Astros switching leagues created 15 teams in each. That's why you've had a lot more interleague play. One and one. Astros did come to Wrigley Field in 2013. That's low and inside. Runner goes safe. Gurriel with his first major league stolen base.
Throw a little bit short on the shortstop side. Otherwise, they might have a shot at him.
Inside corner strike. John working the edges as he normally does.
Yeah. Works the edges, usually keeps the ball down around the knees.
Rasmus spent some time on the DL in August due to an inner ear issue. He had a cyst removed from his right ear.
The pitcher is going to pitch to his strengths. He's going to take advantage of the weaknesses of the hitters, and then they're also going to consider the ballpark, and it just depends on the type of pitcher. But a lot of guys come into this ballpark, they see that big center field as opposed to the tight corners, especially those Crawford boxes in left. And especially against right-handed hitters with power, the little just elevated fastball outside part of the plate, get a fly ball to center. It's a pretty safe place to go.
It's pretty safe right there as Fowler makes a catch, and the inning is over. Gurriel stranded at second. 0-0 after 2. It's time for the Subway third inning triple play promotion. Text Subway 3 to 97999 right now. The 300th texter will win a $30 gift card to a Subway restaurant in the Chicagoland area. Subway, fresh is what we do. Nice Friday night crowd on hand here at Minute Maid. Javier Baez hitting ninth. He takes a strike on the outside corner. He wasn't so sure. They installed new lighting here at Minute Maid Park this year, and it's a lot brighter on the field than I remember.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's definitely brighter. It's not so bright outside. There's some pretty ugly clouds out there, and there was a bit of rain here today, but it's been one of the pluses to this ballpark. If you're going to put a roof over a ballpark, it's nice to have that big pane of glass out there in the outfield.
I also love how a couple of years ago the Astros went back to their roots a bit in terms of the team colors, to navy blue and orange. Another broken bat. Ground ball. Altuve's got to hurry, and he gets it.
Cub fans, let's go. Here's your opportunity to register for the chance to purchase 2016 postseason tickets for potential games to be played at Wrigley Field. Go to Cubs.com/postseason to register and learn more about this postseason ticket purchase opportunity. The Cubs will conduct random drawings from among eligible fans who successfully complete the registration form.
Now, were you not on the advisory board talking about the look? Your old partner Bill Brown said he was on that board, thought you were, and he said it was pretty much unanimous.
Oh, the colors. Yeah.
Wanted to go back to this color scheme.
I do remember going to a couple meetings. Yep. Going back to their roots. There's Brownie.
Alan Ashby, former Astros catcher. Fowler, foul tipped. That's an out. As he strikes out, Gaddis knew it. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Great to have you with us tonight. Interleague play. The Cubs have the best interleague record at 13-4. The Astros have the best interleague mark the last 2 years, 26-11. Two 2-0 on Bryant.
Astros 8.5 games behind the Rangers in the American League West, so that's out of reach.
Yeah, they're 3-13 against the Rangers. In the middle of a stretch of 13 in a row against first place clubs. Bryant takes the walk.
Yeah, facing a lot of frontline starting pitching too. They came through Cleveland with all the good arms they have. They get Lester, Lackey, and Arrieta here in this 3-game set.
Bryant dives back safely. Colin McHugh, the right-hander for the Astros tomorrow. Mike Fiers will go Sunday night.
A.J. Hinch just trying to get some length out of his starting pitching. Dallas Keuchel is out with shoulder inflammation. I'm not sure if he's going to pitch again this year.
The other way, foul on the ground.
I would have done more digging on that, but I was enjoying some press box fried chicken.
Yeah, I miss coming to Minute Maid Park. This was one of our favorite stops on the circuit. One and two.
It's funny how for years here, I mentioned the fried chicken. It was one of the staples in the press dining room. They had it every night as an option, and then a couple of years ago they took it away, and there was an uproar among the media, both here in town and visiting writers and broadcasters.
It became a big story.
I hit him.
So Rizzo gets plunked. Two on for Ben Zobrist.
Top of the back knee, just above it. Musgrove trying to throw that slider down and in on Anthony. Walked him last time, hits him this time. A chance at redemption for Zobrist, who struck out in the first. And runners on first and third and only one out. Ben, who was originally drafted and signed by the Houston Astros.
Lots of 3 seasons in their system before he was traded to Tampa Bay in 2006. Ground ball toward right, backhanded by Gonzalez, the first baseman. He'll get it to the pitcher. Musgrove, and the inning is over. Cubs strand 2. Still 0-0.
Saturday the 17th, the Cubs take on the Brewers. First pitch 3:05 in celebration of Tradesman Appreciation Day. Ideal Industries presents a Cubs stainless steel drink bottle to up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans. Cubs.com for tickets.
Astros batting in the third. Teoscar Hernandez, 22 games into his major league career. He's only 23. Did I see you talking to a Hall of Famer on the field before the game, Craig Biggio?
Yeah, I was chatting up Biggio.
Former teammate. Does he still do some work for the club?
Yeah, he's got a role here, an advisory role. I'm not sure exactly what Craig's title is. Assistant to the general manager.
He's in charge of Cracker Jack.
It's Enos Cabell there next to him. He's been part of this organization for a long time.
That still looks like he could play.
His son is out playing. His son, Kevin, in the Blue Jay organization. Son, Connor, spent some time working in the commissioner's office this year. He played college ball at Notre Dame, as did Kevin.
Right center, Hayward busting it, and he'll get there. Didn't even have to leave his feet. Tweet us your Cubs selfies to #BudFridays. Is that Will Ferrell? How's that look? And we may use them in our Bud fan cam a little later on. Jake Marisnick, the center fielder.
So it was a combination of Will Ferrell and Seth Rogen.
Good call.
Will Rogen.
Good bunt. Baez pounces on it. Throw to first. He got him. That is a great play, even for Javier Baez. I didn't think he had a prayer.
It's a great play in a series of great plays we've seen from Javi Baez. And Marisnick gets down this bunt. Baez, do or die. He's able to carry so much speed into a play like that, but still be under control.
Can't do it much better than Marisnick did. Might have hit it just slightly too hard, but that is really nitpicking. It's just a great play by Baez. And you wouldn't expect him to be that good on that play because he's been a shortstop his whole life.
Yeah,
that's not a play a shortstop
right
makes.
But I just think there's no play that he can't make.
One strike on Springer. Broken bat, single to right. What's going on with all these bats?
Shattered lumber here tonight.
Should be.
Well, that means there's a lot of contact away from the barrel, either way down towards the end or in on the hands. Yeah, I would think, if Baez committed to the outfield, I think before long you'd probably say he's your best outfielder. Just one of those guys. So does Springer look to run? It's only been a break-even proposition for him this year. He's stolen 9, but he's been caught 9 times.
He takes off, and he's going to be out. David Ross nails him, and that'll end the inning. So John Lester getting a lot of help from his teammates here in the third. The play by Baez, and then the David Ross throw to nail Springer. Scoreless. Schedule. Weekend here in Houston, then 3 at St. Louis before the Cubs head home to play Milwaukee. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or localfordstores.com. Addison Russell 0 for 1. And apparently that was high. Cubs with 1 hit. That was the Fowler triple to the hill and center to start the game. Popped up. Altuve.
On Sunday the 18th, the Cubs will finish up their series with the Brewers, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Cubs picnic blanket presented by Jewel Osco. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
All 1 on Soler.
The blanket will come in handy for those chilly postseason evenings at the ballpark.
Already kind of feeling it on the last homestand. You going to make it over to the football game on Sunday?
Probably not.
I've heard from some fans who are in town. They're going to do the football baseball doubleheader.
Yeah, I would think there'd be a fair number of folks making the pilgrimage to enjoy a day of sport.
Brewers up 3-0 in St. Louis. That's low.
Try a little sinker down and in.
Popped him up.
Didn't go down, but he got it in.
Two away, and it'll bring up Hayward. Excellent catch in foul territory in the bottom of the first. And strike 1. Musgrove has battled some injuries along the way. You mentioned the hip dysplasia. He had reconstructive collarbone surgery. Some shoulder and elbow issues while in the minors. He's only 23. You certainly can't say that arm has been overused.
No, I wonder if you're concerned at all when you draft a player who has a football background, a guy who in high school played lineman. You know, there's a lot of trauma. I mean, I guess if you put a radar gun on a kid and he's throwing 95 miles an hour in high school or college, you're still going to be intrigued by that. But
he looks more like a tight end.
Yeah, well, I think Kyle Farnsworth, this one comes to mind when I look at him out there.
And 1 bounce to Gonzalez to end the inning midway in the 4th. 0-0. Team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Alex Bregman was at the plate when Springer was caught stealing to end the third. Good to see Matt Bolts, longtime Cubs radio engineer, in his second season with the Astros. Two and 0.
Did Bolty buy him some cowboy boots yet? Fully indoctrinated?
He should. One of our all-time favorites. I mentioned Bregman normally plays third, but Correa with a sore shoulder. He is a natural shortstop, so not a big deal for him. The most consecutive games reaching base. Bregman on the list after a very tough start. He was 0 for his first 18, 2 for his first 38, but since then hitting .328, including over .390 to start September. And that's a leadoff single here in the fourth.
And showing some power too. He, like Altuve, not a really big guy, but he's a strong kid and can generate some bat speed.
He is the first position player from last year's draft to get to the major leagues. Second pick overall out of LSU.
Look at this lead.
Enormous. He didn't go, and Altuve with a vicious cut.
If he doesn't go this time, put a pretty good wager on David Ross taking a shot at him.
There he goes. Here's the throw by Ross. Oh, he almost got him. That would have been fun. Do what you could, David. We know Lester's quick to the plate. That was as big a lead as you'll see, and they still almost got him.
You see Bregman's first move was to kind of rise up, and I think it cost him maybe half a step, and David Ross so quick and strong with that throw made what looked like it was going to be an easy stolen base awfully close.
His second steal. They are 2 for 3 tonight against the Lester-Ross combo. Meanwhile, 1-1 the dangerous Jose Altuve.
Well, and then the other part of the equation there is the knowledge gained by the Astros watching Bregman take that lead and John not throwing over. So you read the scouting reports, you hear, hey, he doesn't like to throw to the bases, and as a player, you digest that information, but you go, well, does he really not? Will he never do it? And then you see the lead that Bregman took, and John didn't throw. So that's a bit of an eye-opener for everybody in that Astros dugout.
Takes off for third, and he's out! The Ross-Baez tandem gets Bregman. I was going to add, the other thing they learned was how close it was at second, even with the lead. And we might have a replay here as A.J. Hinch wants another look.
Well, if the tag was applied, he's out. It was a sweep tag. It appeared to be on top of that left hand. Wow, what an athletic play by Grandpa Ross. That's a pretty nimble grandpa right there.
All right, so after all of that, does it make you think the Astros will be more or less aggressive?
Right, and so yeah, so
I don't know.
Right, and that's the conversation we have in pretty much all of John's starts. It's kind of like the hitting approach. You have to be selectively aggressive.
3-2. Altuve leads the American League in batting average, leads the majors in hits. 189 and counting. 4-time All-Star. Was a Gold Glover last year. Good battle. Happy birthday wishes go out to Al McFarland of Palos Heights, lifelong Cub fan. Happy 50th, Denise Odinger, watching tonight in Barrington, Illinois. In the air for Hayward in right center. 2 down.
Wednesday, September 21st, the Cubs welcome students, alumni, and fans of the Big Ten. Fans who buy tickets through the special group nights page will receive a special edition Cubs scarf in their favorite Big Ten schools' colors. Also, one lucky individual will get a chance to throw out a ceremonial pitch. For more information, visit Cubs.com/special group nights.
Gurriel, single and a steal in the second. And ball one outside. Former Cub Luis Valbuena done for the year after suffering a sprained hamstring. He had 13 homers in 90 games with a solid OPS of 816. Another good changeup. It's been a nice pitch for John here these last couple of starts. Last year in Cuba, 49 games, Gurriel hit 500. Career .335 batter in Cuba over 15 years. Starting pitchers, the story so far through 4.
Inning brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Now get access to over 45,000 fee-free ATMs nationwide.
There's a former Cub to the Astros in the Dexter Fowler deal.
Engaging guy. The Valbuena bat flip, always a favorite.
Good,
and
good guy.
To check his own swing with the umpire maneuver. He patented that.
David Ross has been a factor on defense.
He's always on high alert when catching John Lester and loves to help out his buddy.
A good pitch to hit, fouled it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs announced today their Sunday, September 25th game. Final regular season home game against the Cardinals will start at 7:08 p.m. So mark that on your calendar.
Seems to me that Musgrove rarely throws the same pitch twice in a row. Mixing everything in, giving the Cub hitters a lot to think about here.
Inside, it's 3-2. Wastes very little time between pitches. Get it, throw it. In the air, out in the deep left, at the track, caught by Rasmus. Comes to replay, Cam. Always worth another look on a Javier Baez play defensively.
And the irony there, of course, is if the Astros had the conversation about bunting, it likely was, hey, make sure Lester fields it. Which again is counterintuitive for a bunter. You're trying to push that ball down the third base line or maybe push it out towards the second baseman.
Now when John is in there, Joe likes Baez over there on the left side of the infield because there usually is a lot of action. Golfed in the air to deep center. And on the track, it's caught by Marisnick.
Avi, the next time you play in this ballpark, that'll be a home run.
At least close to it. Yep.
And Marisnick might maybe have to go over the wall. They're saying 407 will be the new dimension. Out there along where the current warning track is.
Now Fowler, who spent 2014 as a Houston Astro, traded here from Colorado and then to the Cubs after that season. I didn't get any specific stories from Dexter about Tal's Hill, but he did say, yeah, about a half a dozen balls ended up on that hill when I played here. Most center fielders don't like it. Got the flagpole that is in play. I believe if you hit one off the flagpole, it's a triple.
If it hits and then bounces over the wall?
Yes, and I think
Richie Sexton hit one
he did.
way up on that pole years ago. I believe that ball stayed in play. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a neat feature of this ballpark. You've seen outfielders actually circle the flagpole. And I saw a center fielder run around the pole to retrieve a bounding ball.
Reminds me of old Tiger Stadium. They had the flagpole in play in deep center.
That was the idea, just to pay tribute to the old time ballparks that maybe had a berm or a flagpole in play.
Crosley Field. Ball four.
Named after longtime Astros executive Tal Smith, who is no longer with the ball club.
Got a lot of turnover here the last few years. Now Bryant, who has struck out and walked. Fowler thought about it, but Gaddis got there pretty quickly.
Not that Chris is or was offended by not being the #1 overall pick in the draft. It'd be fun for him to have one of those see what you're missing moments here this weekend.
For sure. I think he's also pretty happy that he ended up as a Chicago Cub. That's high. 2-0. Looking at some of the rankings, trailing Nolan Arenado by 1 in the home run race. Second in the league in OPS. He's leading the way in a lot of categories. Wins above replacement. According to Baseball Reference, adjusted OPS, runs created, plate appearances. You know, he has the most plate appearances in the National League, and I guess the significance of that is he's batting second, which has bought maybe a few extra trips. High in the air, left field. As you were saying, JD, look what you're missing. 2-0 Cubs. He's back in the National League lead.
Yeah, there's one of those moments. Yeah, and with his ability, you know, he's very difficult to pitch to in this ballpark because he handles the ball in and they try to go away. He can go out and hook that ball into those seats fairly easily.
Number 37 for Bryant.
Yeah, it's a breaking ball that stays in the zone. He threw into David Ross. Rossi hit it deep, but just didn't pull it enough to get it into the short porch out there and left.
Cubs have 2 hits, a triple, and a home run. Southwest Airlines, how far did it fly? 370 feet. Hit it to the right place. As we mentioned, the Fowler triple was about 430 and didn't get out.
And this ballpark was new. It earned the reputation of being a real bandbox, and it's not. There are plenty of cheap home runs to left field here, but because of the big center field, and pretty big out in right center as well, it has not been the hitter's paradise that many people think. The guy who really took advantage of this ballpark was Jimmy Edmonds. He would come in here with that inside-out approach as a left-handed hitter and just ping balls into the seats, off the wall, out and left center.
Rizzo in the air to center. Didn't Jose Lima give up a ton of home runs that first year here?
Yeah,
like 50, something like that, or more. Chris Bryant with a 2-run shot to the back of the Crawford boxes and left, and it's 2-0 Cubs in the 5th. Arenado the last, 3 weeks? Feels like when one guy homers, The other guy does. Gaddis takes a big swing and fouls back. Another big swing by Gaddis. He's got that lumberjack look.
Yeah, that's exactly the word that I was thinking. You can hear the Monty Python lumberjack song. That's what he should come up to hit with that song going. Another changeup.
Pulled into left.
Visit the Cubs Authentics auction page every week for your chance to own one-of-a-kind Cubs items. This week's auction includes rooftop and scoreboard flags flown this season at Wrigley Field. Go to Cubs.com/authentics before Sunday night at 8 to place your bid. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities.
So I don't know if you remember, as Gonzalez digs in, there was a play in this ballpark that actually forced a little bit of a cosmetic change. You remember Giovanni Soto, maybe 6-7 years ago, hit a ball off the facing of that green wall. You see the inside, the little yellow paint on the left corner there that was not there. Yeah, that paint job right there. Here's what I remember. The ball hit off that wall and got past the center fielder. I'm pretty sure it was an inside the Parker. The next day, coming to the ballpark, when I got to the booth, I noticed a guy with a ladder and a bucket of yellow paint painting that. So if it hits the left of that, it's a home run, but to the right, it's still in play.
Yeah, but I think now, and that's because the home run line was lower back then. See now how it climbs up and over?
Right, but it did climb up and over at the time, but they didn't have that one area painted. It was like a gap. And it was kind of confusing to tell if it was a home run or not. But I distinctly remember somebody painting that line. But you're right. At one point, the line went straight across from about, what, 10 feet above. Yeah.
Because now it wouldn't matter because if it's to the left of that line, it's still in play either way.
Yep. For the shortstop, Russell, they'll get one. They'll get two. 6-4-3.
How pretty was that?
Right, and I seem to recall on that home run by Soto that it should have been an inside the Parker, but they didn't call it that. That's why they added the line as we get another look at the State Farm double play. Combine your car and home insurance with State Farm and save. Find an agent at statefarm.com.
No doubt Ben Zobrist appreciating the quick feed from Russell with the burly Gaddis lumberjacking in on him.
2 outs, nobody on. Ball one on Rasmus.
And Bruce Miles was recalling the other day when we were chatting in Milwaukee, a Moises Alou ball here that hit the scoreboard. It had topspin and it hit one of the edges of the little frames where the numbers go in and kicked up into the seats for a home run.
Yeah, that was before I was here, but I heard about that home run. That's crazy.
That's magic. First time John has worked in this ballpark since 2008. There are only 2 current Astro players that have ever faced him. Rasmus is one of them. 3 out of 15. Gaddis was 2 out of 3 prior to tonight. Everybody else getting their first look at the all-star left-hander.
John leads National League left-handers with his 15 wins. We'll get back out of play.
Came into this start with the 4th best earned run average in the National League. Hendricks 1, Syndergaard 2, Bumgarner 3, Lester 4, Arrieta 5.
Called strike 3 to end the inning. 2-0 Cubs at the end of 5 from Houston. Brought to you by Budweiser. Not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. Deep in the heart of Texas tonight. Cubs and Astros. And Zobrist takes a strike from Joe Musgrove. Chris Bryant with a 2-run homer in the 5th. Deep to right this time, near the pole. It's foul at the distance.
Could not have missed by much. Hopeful eyes for Zobrist going down the line. Just a little bit foul.
Been grinding. Just couldn't wait any longer. Here's the 0-2. We'll try it again.
Cub fans, join the Cubs season ticket holder waiting list. Do it today. Claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Astros pretty aggressive with their infield shifting.
Gaddis held it for an extra second. Could not get the call from C.B. Buckner. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Back here in Houston, Cubs lead 2-0. Brent Strom is their pitching coach. A funky Pat Neshek. A.J. Hinch, this is his second managerial job. Did not go very well for him in Arizona. Has gone well for him here in Houston.
Into the postseason last year, first time in a good while that has happened.
High drive by Russell, very deep center, and caught. Little leap in the grab by Marisnick. Boy, the Cubs have hit some very deep fly balls to center. The triple by Fowler, and then Baez and Russell both about 400 feet for outs.
Yeah, a lot of ballparks, that's a home run. Right after the visit from Brent Strom, the pitching coach, and as that ball was flying, Musgrove was glaring into the home dugout as if to say, really?
Soler with 2 outs. Breaking ball is low. Big swing and a miss.
He's used that changeup effectively against both left and right-handed hitters here tonight.
That's a strike, and the count now full, 3-2. shot the other way to keep the inning alive. Now, speaking of A.J. Hinch,
yes,
and in his time in Arizona, he was a director of player development before he was installed as their manager, and it did not go well. And I remember the narrative at the time was because he didn't have any managerial or coaching experience, that he was not equipped to do the job. I even seem to remember some people talking about him like he didn't even play. He had 7 years in the majors as a catcher. Into center. It felt like that time as a manager in Arizona was doomed from the start.
There was a big credibility gap for some reason. And
yep, but it's worked here in Houston. 2-0 Cubs. We're just going to give you the line on each starting pitcher to this point. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. Love that groove. Teoscar Hernandez takes a strike on a curve as he showed bunt. Reds and Pirates 3-3, bottom of the 8th. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates have won 2 in a row after losing 8 straight. Back to 500. Big series in Toronto, Red Sox and Blue Jays. It's 11-2 Boston as they go to the 8th. Red Sox 1 up on the Jays, 2 ahead of Baltimore. Orioles are in Detroit 3-3, middle of the 8th. A couple of playoff hopefuls there. Now the Cardinals grabbed a 4-3 lead over Milwaukee. The 2-1 swing and a miss. The pitching matchup of the night on paper in Miami. Clayton Kershaw and Jose Fernandez. Kershaw went 3 innings in his return from the DL, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. Fernandez has gone the distance. It's 4-0 Miami after 7.
Took a bite out of CB Buckner.
Yeah.
Well, Jose Fernandez, I mean, he's really good everywhere, but he's quite dominant in his home ballpark.
And that one stung. So CB's getting looked at. Oof.
Yeah, pretty good body blow there for the he was a He played college ball at SUNY Cortland. He was a Red Dragon.
Well, we have a moment. The Cubs offer special programs designed for your future. Come from kids Sundays at Wrigley Field to Clark's Crew and baseball summer camps throughout the Chicago area. There are many ways to build lifelong Cubs memories with your kids. Visit Cubs.com/kids to learn all about our Cubs Kids offerings.
If I was David Ross, I would say, hey, CB, you should keep that thing loose. Keep flinging that right arm up there.
A little flinch that time. You can imagine why. Oh, got him on the mask. Can't get out of the way. Deep left and off the board. Just missed a home run. Nice play. Bryant. Throw to second is offline. If it had been at the bag, he might have had a shot.
Yeah, smart play for Bryant. Turning around and handling that carom.
5 out of 6 innings. Now the Astros have had a leadoff hit. All of their hits have led off an inning. We'll bring up Marisnick. Astros now 76 consecutive games with an extra base hit. Marisnick with that bunt in the third, played beautifully by Baez. Ground ball to Hobby. Looks the runner back. Throws to first. 1 out.
Should have bunted.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. There's JD's career bio. Astros got him from the Yankees late 1985. You see his numbers with the Astros mostly as a starter. 4th most wins in Astros history by a lefty.
He's traded for Joe Niekro. Me and a couple other guys for Joe Niekro. September of '85. Yankees were in a pennant race.
Tap foul up along third. There was a parade of well-wishers into our booth before the game. All I heard today from everybody I ran into who works here in Houston is, where's JD? I said, he's in the booth. Go say hi.
He's trying to hide. He owes you money, and he's trying to hide.
Well, that's the thing about this game, that as a player you get traded. As a broadcaster you may move on, but you're still in the same industry and you run into old friends. Now
back, yeah.
It's a little unique because of the fact that when you joined me, the Astros switched leagues. But yeah, I know you circled this weekend on your schedule when it came out.
Yeah, and unfortunately we're only doing the one game.
National TV tomorrow and Sunday night. 1-2 on Springer. Here's a pitch. Did he go? He did. CB Buckner made the call, and Springer will not like that. No hitter likes it when the home plate umpire doesn't ask a corner umpire. So 2 down. borderline.
Yeah.
Now Bregman, recently named the minor league player of the year according to USA Today. This week named the MLB Pipeline.com hitter of the year, an award given to the top hitting prospect in baseball. The previous 2 years, Chris Bryant and Kyle Schwarber winning that award. Swing and a miss on the curve. 1-1.
Pretty well set with he and Correa and Altuve into the infield. If they had a do-over and could go back to last offseason, probably would have been a little more aggressive in the pitching market. Been an off year for the the reigning Cy Young Award winner Dallas Keuchel. And you know, Dallas is year last year kind of what Kyle Hendricks is doing this year. A finesse guy who doesn't blow you away with stuff, but he was just dominant last year.
Lester strikes out Bregman, and that will end the inning. 2-0 Cubs after 6. Van Camp. That's the Oyster Kids with Gum.
The Oyster Kids with Gum?
Yeah, that's the name of the song, is Gum. The band is called the Oyster Kids.
Oh, I'm familiar with their work.
I think the Oyster Kids would be a great pregame entertainment thing for the Screaming Yellow Parakeets.
Yeah.
It's the AT&T call to the pen, brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Veteran right-hander Pat Neshek. Had some funk this week, haven't we, with Ben Rowan, Joe Smith, Pat Neshek.
Yeah, one of those drop-down guys. Neshek, the former Twin, Padre, Athletic, and Cardinal.
Swing by Ross.
He gets a little more on it than Rowan. I saw him in Milwaukee the other day.
He got him. Strode 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. Just gave up that home run to Bryant.
Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices. And enjoy a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV.
Javier Baez playing third, batting ninth. Two-seamer for a strike. The bunt, Neshek will pick it up. He's going to throw late. Baez aboard.
So let's get a little something going here at the bottom of the order. Bunt single by Baez, and it'll turn over to Fowler. A little bit fortunate there. He's trying to go down the third baseline with his bunt. Pops it up, and it takes a while for Neshek to get on that one, so it's a knock for Baez. Gaddis has been quite good throwing out base runners. He's 50%, 13 successful, 13 caught, and that's almost 2 times better than league average.
What's the name of their mascot?
That would be Orbit.
Orbit. Well, I don't even want to think about the day when Orbit leaves us, but would somebody write an Orbit obit?
Would hope.
There's a pitch and say strike.
Obituary. I told you the story about the old Orbit.
I don't remember it.
No. This was years ago. And they're out doing the little, you know how sometimes a ticket van will go around to different places and hawk tickets.
Yeah.
So Orbit was out with the ticket van somewhere in the city, doing a little promotional work, and he thought it would be fun to go up to a walk-up teller at a bank in his mascot uniform with his ray gun and pointed at the lady in the teller window. Shortly thereafter, some sirens showed up on the scene, and good old Orbit had some splaining to do. Yeah, because
they don't. It was funny.
Right, they don't talk, right? So you're the teller, and you walk up window. All of a sudden, you see this big green hairy guy with his ray gun, not speaking, just nodding his head. I don't. That particular Orbit is no longer employed with the club.
Orbit was dry heaving there. I don't know what was going on. Bryant has been Mr. 3 true outcome guy tonight. Strikeout, walk, and a 2-run homer. MVP chance at the ballpark. I don't know if you told that story before, but it's worth repeating. That is one of the greatest mascot stories of all time. That's low for a ball.
I'm big and fuzzy. Everybody loves me. This will be great. Come with me, Orbit. We're going downtown.
Yes, he took the 5th. Two and one. Neshek's got a lot of flair. In the air to right. Hernandez makes the catch. Nothing better than a story about our new friend Orbit.
Coughing up a hairball or something.
Games, game 3, 3 different levels and Cubs teams involved. Myrtle Beach is in Salem. Pelicans have a late lead. See if the bullpen can hold them. South Bend hosting West Michigan, tied at 3 late, and Eugene hosting the Hillsboro Hops a little later. Bottom of the 7th, Jose Altuve bounces one to Baez. So Lester gets that leadoff man for the first time since the 1st.
Now, Altuve's been in a little funk here this couple of weeks, hitting less than 200. And with his speed game, very important to keep him off the bases, especially as we get into the later stages of this close ball game. How many times have we seen this from John Lester this year, though? 6, 7 innings, no or low run baseball.
Gurriel fouls back. He's looking forward to possibly facing a guy played with on some Cuban national teams and against in the Pro League down in Cuba, Aroldis Chapman. And he may get that opportunity here in a couple of innings.
Be careful what you ask for. Ulieski, is that correct? His full?
Yeah, and they call him Uli. Yep. Ulieski Gurriel. He has a really good defensive year.
Yes.
Like headline of Yuli's Gold.
Oh, very nice.
Underrated
Peter Fonda.
Peter Fonda movie, yeah. Ground ball into center and a base hit. That'll bring up Gaddis.
It shows up on crossword puzzles from time to time.
Yes, it does. Yeah. ULEE. Gurriel, Gaddis, Gonzalez, 4, 5, 6 in this order.
Second hit for Gurriel here tonight. This is lined out and singled.
back out of play. Chris Bosio on the phone.
"17 times this year, John Lester has allowed 1 or no earned runs. That leads the major leagues." Looking for his 16th win against 4 losses. Came in with a .261 ERA.
Chicago area native Luke Gregerson, who closed for them earlier this year up in the Astros bullpen with James Hoyt. Runner holds. Justin Grimm feeling better. He was under the weather. Came out of that last appearance in Milwaukee.
He had a bad boiler the other day in Milwaukee. There's been a little bit of a gunk, a funk going around the club, more of a head cold congestion thing. His was intestinal in nature.
Manager was a little more direct about it after the game the other night. 1-2. Ooh, just outside. Lester wanted it, but Xfinity Pitch Tracks thought it was outside. Two on Gaddis. Now Lester will step off.
The games are won and lost in the 7th inning. Most teams, once you carry a lead into the 8th, most teams bullpen capable of holding that lead a very high percentage of the time.
And he chased one in the dirt for strike 3. 6 punch outs tonight for Lester against no walks.
Yeah, he goes to soft here, takes a little something off that cutter, leaves it short, gets the chase from Gaddis.
Bring up Marwin Gonzalez. Victor Martinez homered in the 8th. The Tigers beat the Orioles 4-3, and they are now tied with Baltimore for the 2nd wild card spot in the American League. Ground ball past Lester, past Zobrist into center, and the Astros are alive. 1st and 3rd with 2 outs.
Now right through the 5-hole and then beyond the reach of Zobrist. Where he outscampers to 3rd. Play there, obviously. Get that ball into 2nd base. Don't allow that tying run to get into scoring position.
Two on, 2 down. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Rasmus has flied to center and has struck out looking. Strike called on the outside. Reds beat the Pirates 4-3. They left the bases loaded in the 9th. The Pirates did. So they drop a game below 500.
Well, you think Gonzalez would be running here.
Yeah, and he might even stop halfway, depending on what Ross does. Not going, and it's outside for a ball.
Well, I just think, you know, with 2 outs and a chance to get into scoring position, and knowing John's issues with throwing to first base, and a man on third, they have to feel very comfortable that John's not going to go over. I'm surprised he's not taking a more aggressive lead. But clearly he's got John's attention. I think David Ross is out there to say, you know what, let's not worry about that. Let's just get after Rasmus here.
Also, Baez playing off the bag at third, so that allows Gurriel to maybe get a bit of a bigger lead than normal. Not going again, swing and a miss. I'm with you. I'm just really surprised.
Rasmus looking to inflict some damage, trying to get out in front of one, something he can pull. And he pulls off.
Looks like he's going to go this time. He does. And it's low and outside. I think that exchange earlier really put the brakes on a lot of the stuff the Astros wanted to do.
And teams tend to get a little cautious late in games as the outs start to dwindle, the remaining outs dwindle. But for me, that was a no-brainer.
Second and third now, and it's 3-2 on Rasmus. Right-handed hitting Teoscar Hernandez on deck. Of both teams making noise here in the seventh. Three-two. We'll try it again.
Clearly, A.J. Hinch preferred the Rasmus versus Lester matchup to anything he might have gotten had he brought in a right-handed pinch hitter against Grimm, assuming that Joe would have gone to the righty. Rasmus hitting a .149 against left-handed pitching, 2 of his 15 home runs coming against southpaws.
Called strike 3. No argument from Rasmus. Lester pumped up as he grabs his 7th strikeout of the night, and he's shutting out the Astros through 7. It's 2-0 Cubs. Grade 8 stat of the game, and that is now through tonight. John Lester with 8 consecutive starts, allowing 2 or fewer runs. Kyle Hendricks 7 in a row. That's brought to you by Mattress Firm, where we want you to sleep happy, guaranteed. Remember, if it's over 8, it's time to replace. Lefty Tony Sipp against Anthony Rizzo, and he almost hit him on the first pitch.
Sipp on for the 54th time, 1-2 with a 5.54 earned run average. Yielded a .312 batting average against 12 home runs.
One-0 is taken for a strike. Looks like it'll be Hector Rondon. In the bottom of the 8th earlier this week, he came off the DL. Oldest Chapman well rested. So it has set up nicely for Joe Madden tonight. Getting the 7 scoreless out of his starter. Hernandez got a late break, and that ball will be caught by Altuve with his back to home plate. La-di-da just made it look easy. That was not an easy play.
No, Hernandez should have run him off that ball, even though he got a late break. He was still the better option to make the play. So he kind of gave up on it there. Yielded to Altuve.
Altuve was telling him, "I didn't hear you. You got to tell me."
Can't be scared. Altuve has become a unit of measurement. How many Altuves does it take to get from place A to place B?
Zobrist 0 for 3. Batting left-handed. Swing and a miss on a change. It's 0-2. So the off day yesterday, and with Mike Montgomery as part of the rotation now, I mentioned John Lester working on 6 days rest. Jake Arrieta was supposed to go tomorrow. He's been pushed back to Sunday night. That does get guys out of their routine, but they've all been so good.
Yeah, guys can argue that, hey man, I'm a creature of habit. This is my throw day, then so I do this. This is how I prepare for my next start, and it gets shaken up by changing that routine, by stretching out the distance between starts. But you cannot argue with the results, and you really can't argue with the intention either, of just trying to make sure everybody stays rested and ready to go.
The other interesting thing is when we get into that final weekend of the season in Cincinnati, with several off days between the last regular season game and the first game of the division series. Might we see at some point, JD, kind of that last quote spring training start, where you might even see 2 starters work on the same day.
Sure.
Each throw 3 innings.
Sure.
Do a tandem deal just to make sure everybody gets some action. Because the last thing you want, let's say you've got a game 3 starter, you don't want him to pitch Thursday and then a week from Tuesday, so he's got almost 2 weeks off. So that's a little tricky at the end of the year. Good problems to have.
Yeah,
right?
and again with the big lead, you have the luxury of playing it any way you want to. You got 3 innings today, you got 3 tomorrow. Give me 5, give me 4, whatever you want to do.
Another one hit hard by Russell. This one will not be caught as it one-hops the fence. He's got a double, his first hit tonight, 1 out of 4. And that keeps the inning alive for Soler.
Yeah, this one didn't have quite as much air under it. Foot down, hands through, and off he goes.
That is it for Tony Sipp, and we'll be right back. For the Bona player of the game, Chris Bryant, 2-run homer, jumping back into a tie for the National League lead with his 37th, and it's supplying the only runs to this point. Wrap your hands around the official Italian beef of the Chicago Cubs at one of the 19 Bona locations.
Right-hander James Hoyt on for the 14th time. 4.97 ERA here at AAA. Lights out numbers. 29 saves. 93 strikeouts and 55 innings of work at AAA this year.
Another power forward as Soler sends one in the air. 6'6", 230. And Hoyt throws one pitch to get out of the 8th inning. 2-0 Cubs. They'll go into the bullpen when we come back. Nothing Cubs. John Lester with 7 shutout innings tonight. And here is Hector Rondon. This will be his second appearance since coming off the DL on Tuesday.
Yeah, he wasn't on top of his game in that outing, but his stuff was good. We saw him at 97 miles per hour on the gun, and that's the most important thing, that he's back and healthy. As we peruse his numbers for the year, 2.62 ERA, 196 the batting average against. Back in that bridge roll, pitching the 8th before Chapman gets the 9th.
Hernandez will lead it off, 1 for 2 with a double. Mets leading late in Atlanta 6-4. Trying to grab a wild card spot. Half a game ahead of St. Louis going into play tonight. And the Mets landed Tim Tebow. How about that? Minor league contract, got a $100,000 signing bonus. .98 miles an hour. Easy gas from Rondon.
So what's Tebow going to do? Play an instructional ball, or?
Yes.
Well, that'll be fun to watch going forward to see how he progresses. Banging away at that outside corner. There's another one.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tony Kemp, left-handed batting outfielder, will bat for Marisnik.
John Lester tonight, 7 innings, 7 hits. No runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. ERA now down to 2.51.
At the knees for a strike. The Myrtle Beach Pelicans scored 2 runs late in a 2-1 win at Salem to win their first round Carolina League Series. So they advance. One and one. One and two. Kemp, a product of Vanderbilt, 24 years old. This is his 100th career plate appearance. Fastball high. Play all 3 outfield spots. A little second base. Foul tip, strike 3.
Sharp so far here tonight. Fastball command outside to get Hernandez, and a good slider there to get Kemp.
Slider for a strike. Right after the ball game, we'll send you over to the WGN News, so stay with us. Wow, this has looked pretty impressive.
That one sounded good. I dare say he burned that one in there. Climb the ladder. What the mindset for opposing hitters when they contemplate Chapman waiting to pitch the ninth? They go, well, we got to get to Rondon because they got Chapman for the ninth. Like getting to Rondon is easy, you know?
Yeah. Cubs really have two closers at this point. Russell Fields out at first is Springer, and a 1-2-3, and it was mighty impressive from Rondon. Kemp stays in and plays left. Rasmus will go to center. Hoyt. Ball one to Hayward.
Hoyt's an old youngster. Made his debut on August 3rd at the age of 29. Second youngest, or excuse me, second oldest pitcher to make his debut in Astro history.
Pitched in independent leagues early on. Mexico, Braves minor league system. Four-seamer for a strike, 3-1. From Boise, Idaho. To Palomar College and Centenary College of Louisiana. You know what the nickname of that particular school is?
Centenary?
Centenary College of Louisiana.
The Fighting Centipedes.
No. The Gentleman.
The Gentleman?
I believe that's what it says. Yeah.
Wow. I like it.
Swing and a miss.
Their mascot's a guy in a suit and tie, looking dapper. So Hoyt, throughout his minor league career, had good strikeout numbers, but crazy good this year. struck out 44% of the batters he's faced. He had faced down at AAA.
The women's teams, they're the ladies.
Appropriate.
Yep. Line drive caught by Gurriel.
That'd be funny if they called them the Lady Gentlemen. You know, like some teams, you know, they're the Bulldogs and they're the Lady Bulldogs, so they would be the Lady Gentlemen.
Baez with 2 outs. 9th inning, 2-0 on a Chris Bryant home run back in the 5th. Top of the zone slider for a strike.
Astros had base runners in every inning but the first against John Lester, but he did not yield. When runs in the ball game coming on the Chris Bryant home run. Musgrove, the youngster for the Astros, was really good here tonight.
Back to Hoyt. And he lobs over to Gonzalez, and we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. It's Aroldis Chapman time when we come back. The 9th, Cubs with a 2-0 lead. They've been out hit 7-5. Aroldis Chapman is on to try to notch the save. It would be his 33rd overall. Kind of interesting when you look at his major league career, save opportunities. With a 1-run lead, he's 59 out of 77. But with a 2-run lead, 56 for 56. 3 runs plus 63 out of 66. So you give him more than 1 run and it's almost automatic. Bregman will lead it off. Tough part of the order here. 2, 3, and 4. Gurriel will get what he hoped for. Go up 3rd in this inning.
Real good battle from the guy on deck, Altuve. That'll be fun to watch. But first things first, the rookie Bregman has displayed a pretty quick bat, and obviously that's what you need to compete against Orioles.
On the strike on the rookie Bregman. Look out, 2 and toppled the young right-handed hitter.
That's kneecapped him. Astro fans will recall Billy Wagner here throwing triple digits.
Swing and a miss.
I don't know if Wags ever got to 104 though.
Swing and a miss, top of the zone at 103 for the strikeout.
With some serious petrol there, boy. It just explodes towards home plate. Riding fastball across the letters.
First appearance in 5 days for Orioles. Couple of innings against San Francisco on Sunday. Pretty efficient, only made 24 pitches. Had been really busy at the end of August. This is only his second appearance in September. Altuve breaks his bat as he rolls to Baez. 2 outs. So the normally pesky Altuve swinging early. It's Gurriel, who's 2 out of 3, facing a former Cuban national team teammate. Two outs, 9th inning in the pitch. He swings away out into right center. Fowler on the move. He's got it. Cubs win. Cubs win 2-0 the final. Lester, Rondon, and Chapman team up for a shutout. Magic number down to 7.
Easy breezy for Chapman here in the 9th. Got the strikeout of Bregman, then a couple quick outs from Altuve and Gurriel, so no drama in the 9th. Tremendous effort for John Lester again here tonight. I don't know that he's getting his due nationally for how good he has been. But he's a 16-game winner now. 7 shutout tonight for Lester, and 1 swing of the bat. Chris Bryant home run, the only runs in the ball game.